My lovely Sagittarians out there. This is your general reading for this up and coming new moon in Leo, which isn't far away. So we'll get some cards for you. Thanks for joining me, as I said. And, these are general intuitive tarot readings. So take what resonates, just leave what doesn't. And if you can like videos on this channel, it'd be fabulous, because it does actually mean that they're being seen by more people in terms of algorithms, etc. So that would be wonderful if you can, if you do like. So let's get stuck into it. What's the storyline today for Sagittarius? Whoops, we've got one. Oh my God, look, I've done a few readings thus far, and the Magician keeps coming out again and again. We're feeling a bit mercurial on it. The wonderful thing about this, I just love this representation of the Magician, in the Thoth deck. We have the ability here that we can move through realms. I mean, technically, the Magician, Thoth, Tahuti, messenger of the gods. So we're able, we've got a fluidity at this time, somehow, where we can actually venture into zones that are not open to all Sagittarius. We have insight maybe into states or levels that maybe is kind of unique. We're not getting stuck anywhere, like there's a sort of like I just see, someone swimming, like, those long distance people like years ago when they used to swim the English Channel or something, or whatever, Cook Strait here, and lather their body in a kind of an animal fat or lard. Excuse me if that triggers anyone. Animal fat. We have fat ourselves on our skins, but that lathered up, slipping and sliding through different realms is what I see. Anyway, God, Sagittarius, it's only one card. And then we've got the Three of Discs, a strong pyramid here. Works in progress, works in motion. Something is coming from this. We're building a new base. We're building a new foundation of sorts. And it is something to do with having a kind of insight. I mean, a kind of, not X-ray vision, but you know what I mean? Like this ability to be moving through different realms. Maybe you're connecting some dots. There's also something here. You're connecting some dots that you hadn't or haven't before. Let's see, Sagittarius. We do go through and clarify these cards. We have Eon coming out. I believe so. Connecting dots. Whether this is about what you see around you in terms of what you're working in or who you're working with, the people that you have contact with in your life, whether they come in briefly and go, or whether they're actually around you consistently. You are connecting some dots that you haven't before. Whatever that is, take what resonates, as I say, leave what doesn't. We've got the Eon coming out here. Now, this is the card of Judgment. the wonderful thing in the Thoth deck, as opposed to, say, for example, if you're interested in tarot, as opposed to the, what's the most commonest, oh God, the real common deck, Rider-Waite, of course. The difference with the Thoth deck is that we seek, judgment doesn't come necessarily from an external off-planet God or force or source force or natural law, whatever way you want to look at it. In the Thoth deck, it comes from our own connection with that higher force, that element that exists within ourselves. That's where judgment comes from. Just as authority is understood to be an aspect that lies within us, for us, not as an external institution that determines what or how or why. You know what I mean? Because we are connected to this earth and natural law exists around us. It's not necessarily man-made stuff, you know. Of course, there are some fundamentals, but what I'm getting here is that you're connecting some dots on a personal level for yourself. And it does have a lot to do with maybe goals that you've had, or wanting to make connections here. Wanting to make connections. You're making them in your own head, but you're making them in your own head. There's the influence of others are clearly involved here as well. I'll just get one more card. What was I? It's like you're making them in your own head. You're connecting the dots, Sagittarius, on certain things that you've kind of wanted to be able to do that. Maybe you don't have the language to explain that to others at this current time. Just like sometimes I don't have the language. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, all right. We have the sun coming out. This is a really beautiful thing. Did you just see how effective you actually are? And in amongst all these other things, did you actually just see that? Sagittarius is what I'm getting from this beautiful sun. It's pretty, wow, it's pretty intense. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Can we see the judgment? We've got the Fool flying out. I wasn't really focused. So, fresh new beginnings. The Fool, what more can you say? New growth. Green, fresh growth. Certainly, there's nothing that has occurred before that is preventing you from continuing on this journey. The funny thing is with these cards, though, is that I get this distinct feeling that it's less about others and it's more about it's a process that is going on within yourself, Sagittarius. And there's a quiet contemplation of this, actually. There's a quiet contemplation. We have the King, benevolent King of the tangible world, of this physical world. Resources. We have resources. We share those resources, don't we? We also have death, transformation, a letting go. you know, I mean, we've got in this reading, we've got the Magician, Judgment, the Eon. We've got the Sun, and we've got the Fool, and we have Death. This is a real rejigging of the circuits, of the wiring, Sagittarius. Can we look at this Three of Discs? Because this is about creating tangible new foundations, actually. This is something that look, we get the Queen of Pentacles, we've got the King. I can't help but think this is something that you're doing. There's two different things going on here. This is something that you're doing with a counterpart in a very tangible three-dimensional way. But there's another thread running through this, which is about you connecting certain dots within yourself that you haven't for a long time. That you haven't in this way. Okay, so we'll look at Judgment, Sagittarius. The Eon, Judgment, we get the Five of Discs, another disc. Consummate card of choosing less, lack. You know, it's like the lolly scramble, you know, those lolly scrambles. And skirting around the outside of all those screaming kids trying to pick up as many lollies as possible, but just shimmying around the edge and just gradually taking a little Macintosh. Look, it's choosing lack. You understand this, but this is, I do think, something about the past. We recognize it, you know, when judgment comes knocking. And as I said before, it's not about something external coming in and kind of ruining things or whatever. It's a part of a process of growth that we remember things. Our memory is jogged. We remember even the smallest infinitesimal things. And those memories can just come in and go again. It's just part of a personal evolutionary process. So we see where that's played its part in the past. It is a piece of the past, though. I do see that for you, Sagittarius, and a piece of the past. We're looking at the sun. You know, winter. It is winter here. I know it's not in the Northern Hemisphere. It is a time of reviewing. It is a time where we, you know, I mean, there's so much change and shifting of certain perceptions and things going on in the world, going on around us at the moment, that it takes a look, we're digesting a lot. And saying, you know, winter, yeah, there's a time where we review and we go inward a little bit. That's not a bad thing at all. At all. Anyway, so we're looking at the beautiful sun. I mean, this is such a good read. Vitality, it's like this, but you understand what that is within you. And it may well be for a Sagittarian out there, you know, it may well relate more. If you are a very, you know, like we always think of Gemini as this kind of shape-shifting energy in some ways, you know, that you can be whatever, you know, this reflective quality, you can, it's just something that, you know, a lot of Geminis have, but I think a lot of Sagittarians, being on the other side of that wheel, have as well. So there's that sort of fluidity with the many masks that we have in our cupboard, you know. Anyway, I'm digressing off here. We're looking at the sun, this beautiful, vital, this understanding that you have now that you've connected the dots about what your essence, actually, what the amazingness of it, Sagittarius. We have, you know, this is interesting. We've got the Three of Swords and we've got the Nine of Cups. We know what makes us happy. We know what makes us sad. And in the past, what made us sad, what created these little incisions here, of which we have many in this heart. So we understand. And we understand the role of self-responsibility that we have for our self-responsibility without marginalizing learning experiences through our life. This is a wonderful thing because to me the cards really do speak of a sort of new understanding within yourself. You have support. You have a large level of support in this, whether it's from a counterpart, whether it's from generally just other people around you. It's pretty nice. Let's just get a oracle card. The sun is starting to go down. And who have we got? They don't seem that... I don't really feel like using these today, so I might not use them for the rest of the readings, of which will be up later tonight and tomorrow. So do check out, if you know what your Ascendant, Moon, Venus, Jupiter are in, check them out. Who have we got? We've got Filippo Marinetti, life work inspiration, forward march, looking backward ensures a broken neck. Well, that's, yes, well, yeah. Your art should wage war. Well, the only constant will always be contradiction. Well, he's true. It's true. But it's a very male-centric thing to say, isn't it? Your art should wage war. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, on that note, Sagittarius, what a lovely reading that was, and I hope you got something out of it. And for now, do like or share these videos, or whatever, but just even liking, if you did like, really helps to get these out to a wider audience. So thank you. Ka kite and take care for this new moon in beautiful Leo.